It's really bright. Oh god. Yeah, we're all here for you, so.
Here, wait. This is incredible.
Yeah. Kind of freaked me out.
It's wagging its tail, it knows it's there.
Oh.
Oh, he's run away.
Get it. Can we go? Can we go?
Video is on the subject of organized community harassment used by hate groups and community watch type groups at public places. Many people who claim to be targets of organized harassment have reported being surrounded by groups of people at retail stores and supermarkets. This video will try to explain what is going on, and it's important for you to understand that what these people are doing is very illegal and considered a conspiracy under the law. It's also important to understand that these places are under camera, and that video could help you in exposing such harassment. This is only if you understand what they are doing. A network of participants harasses and threatens the victim while the victim is doing their shopping. A degrading theme is used to put the victim on the defensive. This is part of psychological warfare and also done to induce the fight or flight response, adrenaline. The lineup at the cash register is a location where participants try to stand behind victims while they use threats or use threats in the shopping area, or use subtle threats related to degrading themes, to increase the fight or flight. Fear and fear of humiliation are used or built up with comments such as "he's scared" to induce more stress and anxiety. Once at the cash register, the victim is in under a microscope situation where the reactions and behavior are interpreted as fear of fear tactics. And fear of humiliation tactics are used and built up with comments by members of the stalking mob or group such as "he's scared." Such comments are directed at the target to induce more stress and anxiety in the victim target. Subtle attacks related to degrading themes are used to cause embarrassment or blushing to destabilize or put the victim on the defensive. Because of threats, fight or flight response, and adrenaline, the victim's behavior or reactions are interpreted as fear to attack the victim's honor and in attempts to humiliate the victim. Things that are focused on to interpret fear are the victim's behavior, reactions, gestures, their voices, and their signatures. It's a network that wages psychological warfare and uses threats to induce the fight or flight syndrome or cortisol and adrenaline. The fight or flight response, stress, cortisol, and adrenaline potassium, deplete the body of macrominerals, which leads to different disorders such as macromineral deficiencies and acid-base disorders.
This video illustrates the concept of gang stalking. Gang stalking is also known as vigilante stalking or cause stalking. and it involves using several different individuals and vehicles to give a person the message that they are being stalked, yet not give them the ability to identify a single perpetrator. I've just bought a video camera, and this is the first time that I've taken it out. Instead of driving away as I normally would, I sit and play with the zoom on the camera. I hadn't realized the cyclist was sitting at the corner. I actually discovered him after I zoomed in on him. So I decided to sit and keep filming. This is something the stalkers didn't expect me to do. Notice the hand movements here. The guy lifts up his hands, points at the car that's approaching. His hands go back down again, and then he leans towards the car. Also, notice that the white car is missing a hubcap. This is important because the car will be coming back. You may have noticed that I've altered the video slightly. I've inserted still images to illustrate certain points a little more easily. As the ladies approach the corner, there's no indication that they know the guy until they get close to him. Watch as the blonde woman walks toward him, and obviously he says something to her, and she turns around and looks in my direction. The other woman seems to stop herself from turning around completely. The blonde woman points at me. Watch now as the guy on the bike signals someone else. He looks at his wrist as though looking at the time, then turns his palms upward as if to say, "I don't know what's going on." This is just before a cyclist and a car come by. Certain behaviors are repeated in order to let the victim know that something is happening. In my case, cars, cyclists, and pedestrians are used when I leave the house, and also when I'm coming back to the house. The blonde lady appears to say something to the guy, and he continues watching me after she leaves. A man named David Lawson managed to infiltrate one of these groups, and he wrote a report on it called Terrorist Stalking in America. At this point, he scoots down a little so that he's more concealed by the trees. According to Lawson, cause stalking has been used by extremist groups since the early 1990s. This gives the viewer a reminder of how far away the cyclist actually is. There is absolutely no way that he can see that I have a video camera. In fact, if he knew I had a video camera, he wouldn't be sitting there. The only thing he can see is that I'm not driving away. Here comes the white car again, back in the opposite direction. There's no exit in that direction. In order to leave the neighborhood, he has to come back the other way again. According to David Lawson, the people who are involved in gang stalking are often not employed, which gives them the ability to follow a person at any time of day. In addition, he makes it quite clear that these groups are cults. And now a third cyclist is about to approach. And as soon as he comes around the corner, he looks at me, and keeps watching me the entire time. After he gets on his bike, he actually rides up the wrong side of the street. It looks like he's trying to figure out what I'm doing. At the end of this video, you'll see a picture of what I looked like to them. Lawson says that when stalking groups move into a neighborhood, there is an increase in the number of break-ins, noise, and it will become a high-traffic area. And now a fourth cyclist is about to approach. And here comes the same white car a third time. The basic system is alleged to have been developed by the Ku Klux Klan and refined through years of use. The primary characteristic of cause stalking is that it is done by large groups of people. A target will always be followed, but he is unlikely to see the same stalkers very often. The cyclist has now left. I've blurred the video here on purpose to protect the child's identity. and I lowered the camera when a second child came by. 2 more cars are about to approach. That's 7 cars, 4 cyclists, and 3 pedestrians, not including the kids, on a Tuesday afternoon, within a 5-minute period. This is a picture of my car taken from where the cyclist was sitting. It's very obvious from this perspective that there's no way he could have seen that I was filming. So this begs the question, what were all those people looking at? What was so interesting to them?